Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay. It seems my phone I just set up is working okay. So um, I hope your Monday is going well for you. Mine's going okay. I got my housework done mostly. I got a little bit left to do, but in the middle of a load of laundry, and I turned it off so I could talk for a while without any noise. So um, I watched a pretty good two videos that I thought were pretty good topics. Was Frank Shot Pearson had a video about uh parents that are upset with the reading material that are in their libraries around the United States that are inappropriate for children. That was one really good one. Just a minute. And then he had other topics too, but then Lionel Nation had a video with about canceling people's cultures, but he really didn't stick to the topic. You know, sometimes you get a little waylaid with other thoughts or other information that's going on in the world. So I'm not quite sure what happened to that. But talk about canceling a culture when the first people of the United States aren't even honored in their own country. But yet we have a bunch of Freemasons up on a freaking carved out mountain. But yet the founding father, Crazy Horse, Sitting Bull, you don't see anybody caring that any of that is finished. And quite frankly, I don't know why anybody in their right mind would want to take what God had made so beautiful and carve a human face in it. It'd be like looking out at your beautiful tree in your yard and seeing some dipshit's face staring back at you. I mean, it'd be different if it was like the image of God, but that's not, you get what I'm saying. So yeah. Anyway, Lionel got a little bit lost on, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe he made his point and maybe other people caught it, but it was lost on me, and I'm pretty bright, so I think he kind of got a little waylaid and then started selling his Patriot supplies and, you know, whatnot, whatever. You know, if people don't know by now that they should be prepared, pretty much they're going to be eating bugs and living in pods in the city. So that's about that. That's how I feel. That's my outlook on what's going on in the world right now. That things, although they haven't changed as far as what the world leaders are doing and have always done, they gotten a lot worse, and I don't expect that it's going to get any better. Oh, you know what? I heard so many people now, and here's this is pretty crazy. Yes, I got deathly sick from the swine flu in 1976, but I typically don't get the flu much. I mean, when I was a kid, occasionally, you know, but I've heard so many people say lately, and I can't prove that it's toxic waste that they're dumping on us, you know, because where else are they putting it? Prove to me. I want my United States of America to prove to me the hazardous waste areas where that is disposed of. Now, keep in mind, I have a cousin that works for HAZDAC, a hazardous waste disposal person, driving big machinery. So answer carefully, liars. Where waste products like from mining, or for instance, it used to be that our taconite went to China and they would well, it's like a smelting process and turn it into another metal, another alloy. But we don't do that anymore. And taconite is poisonous. I don't know if people know that. There's a lot of mining operations that expose stuff from our earth that is poisonous, that really shouldn't be even handled by human beings, but yet that won't stop them digging up the gold and say that they're digging for uranium or whatever. Do you see my point? They're gonna, no matter what, to get what they're going after in that ground, they'll lie to people, and it doesn't really matter to them. You know, my point is, I've said many videos I've made about, it's called Lufthansa, meaning red sky. There's a Hansa airline out of Germany, a company that has commissioned the United States out of California and other areas, that these two large, very large, and the Germans do hate us, by the way, even the ones that came here to try and destroy us in the 40s, it's never ended. And these are what you would call the crypto Jews that are effing killing us right now today. So Lufthansa and our airlines have made a pact, so to speak, contracts for dumping waste products on us. The documentation's out there and you can look it up. And I actually have videos. Look up Lufthansa, Luff, I do believe, or LuafHANSAUA. Yeah, I got it mixed up. I'm not gonna look it up. If you Google it, if you just say Lufthansa or Red Sky Airlines, Germany, you'll come up with it, and you'll see that I'm telling you the truth. My point is I rarely, typically don't ever really get the flu, not like that. And a lot of people have been saying how dizzy they feel, and different things that, it's, how can we prove it's pollution? You know, for one thing, everybody on this planet has the right to say whether we want airplanes spraying anything, even if it's water, out of the airplane onto us from the sky. We have that right as individuals on this planet. Anybody agree there? We all have not only the responsibility to take care of each other, but to decide what is right for us and our families. This is what they've taken away from us. This is the control that they have over the people. And quite frankly, like I wrote about on Facebook today, about them spraying our skies, they should be took to the village square and hung by their feet. And that's how I feel about them. I'm not playing with these people. These people are murdering other human beings with their tactics and their greed. I'm not buying any of this satanic bullshit that they're trying to lay on us and telling us it's normal and that we just have to accept it. So, excuse me a moment. If I do get cut off, Don't know if I'll be back, but I really do love people. I love my friends. I love you very much. Um, Regardless of my strong viewpoints about a lot of things, people are human. Younger people make a little more mistakes than older people do. And with that said, I'll say again that I love you. And I hope that any differences we ever had, we would be able to work out like that. I'm not working out anything with any Satanist or people of the dark cabal. No, I am not sitting down at the same table with your trashy ass. So that is totally out of the question. The best you can do is hide from people like me, because if I see you face to face, you're going to have a problem. That's a fact. There is an army of people out here just like me, waiting to talk to people just like you. Imagine that. Hide, you motherfuckers. Excuse me. When I look at the people that are in turmoil and upset and jobless and homeless and all the rest of the bullshit that these creatures have created, I'm not going lightly on anything that I think or anything that I say, ever. It goes right down to the people that say they're Jews and they're not. You know, these are the ones that I'm talking about. Jerusalem is the whore of Babylon. You know, that's a fact. And there's a lot of whoredom all around the world. It's not exclusively in the United States of America. I could Italianize your ass and show you some really filthy shit from the past. Cannibalistic, heathenistic. I could go on. That's just one area. I could tell you of a lot of places on the planet that are a lot worse than where we live. That's a fact. So I'm sure Ukraine, you wouldn't want to live there, not just because of what's going on there right now, but because of who lives there and what they're trying to pull on everybody. That's what's going on. That's who these people are all around the world in small groups that control large groups of people. So, and if there is any hope for the world, it is the United States, us strong ones here, standing up and saying, you know what? We are the army of God. We're right here. And I do believe that great minds are going to find greater ways to stop their baloney. And I think there's people that work for these different companies that better start speaking up and speaking out for the people on the planet, because you're in bed with these people. Period. And speaking of that, I am going to touch on something. um I'm going to find a way to explain this to you. You probably already know, but the dangers of looking upon other people in a lustful way, and who's answering you when you have those thoughts. And what do you do after you have those thoughts? Um, you are literally cursing another human being with your actions. Now, although my sons don't abide by what I taught them, I taught them to lower their gaze, and you better believe when they were in my household, they did. They didn't act like no little twerps around me like that. because I taught them that's not your woman. And even if you thought it was or could be someday, that's not the way to go about that. And I'm just saying it, it's nothing more than I can tell you about life, that to look upon other people in that respect isn't your place. You're out of place. And you cannot, and scream at me if you will, and hate me if you will, but you can't walk with God. And you could. Okay, let me reword this. How close of a walk do you want? Doesn't mean you don't believe in God. It doesn't mean you won't be okay. And I know there's a lot of problems out in this world. Um, but you have to consider how close do you actually want to be. And if you're teaching other people, what do you want to teach them? I mean, do you want to teach them to have ongoing problems in their lives? Or do you want to help them find a way to not have those problems? You know, that would be the ideal situation right there, you know? So, I don't know, just consider it. Like I said, I'm not down on nobody for anything they do in life. It just do consider this. I mean, yes, there's women out there that will dress for that attention or undress for that attention. And you might think, well, that's her decision, but is it? You know? Wow, the lighting adjusted itself. You know, is it really her decision? I don't know. Does a man have a right to look upon a woman like that no matter what she's wearing? Personally, I don't think so. I'm gonna tell you something that's really painful for me is having a man look at me in an unhealthy way. It creeps me out. Totally creeps me out. But maybe I'm a little different than some people. I don't know. You tell me. Is there a man watching me that gets creeped out if a woman acts a little um overly sexual around you? Has that ever happened? Have you ever been so uncomfortable you could just scream and want to crawl out of your skin? Do you know that there's people out there that look at children like that and treat babies like that? So it's horrible, honestly, really bad. It's one of the worst feelings that I have had on this planet, honestly. So, I'm just speaking to you from my heart. There's no hatred. There's no a little bit of judgment, but not as far as like you're going to hell. No, you're probably not going to hell. But you're probably going to feel like you're in hell when that divine spirit is whispering to you. Um put it in the hands of the Father, so to speak. Uh, your tears aren't going to go away no matter what way you approach the situation. Your inside tears that people may not recognize. Either way, you're still going to have them. So, how are you going to approach things? That's the. So, enough on that. I thought I'd just kind of touch on the situation. Oh, so funny, aren't I? So I made a wonderful supper last night. I made roasted chicken breasts, and I took a big gigantic Amish Hubbard squash and baked that for about an hour and a half, and scooped the seeds and all the meat out of the shell and put it in a baking dish with a cover and a little butter on it and throwed it back in the oven. So we had really tender chicken with really yummy squash. It was so good. So one of my favorite meals. I had to use up my squash before it went bad, so I've had it for a couple of weeks. So yeah, but it was so good. All them people do such a good job on their farming. So it'd be a crying shame if all the small farms like that were disposed of like the government wants. Nobody's ever going to have anything that tastes like food anymore if that happens. I mean, like even eggs, for me, I prefer store bought eggs. I always have because I didn't raise them and they're not mine. And some people don't know. It's not like I saw this fake thing. I was pretty sure it was fake. It was some African people that went to buy some eggs and they opened up the egg carton. Now this could be true. I'm not sure. But there was two live chicks in the egg carton. They saw movement. It's possible. A chicken can lay an egg like a woman has eggs inside of her. And the man's semen ignites with that, and the baby is formed. Same with a chick. That egg needs to be fertilized by the rooster before it's hatched, and then it needs to incubate so many days, and then the chicken will hatch out of that. So it's just an egg, still just an egg out of that female until the male and the female get together and copulate. And then you have fertilized eggs. And I kept telling Doug, he's like, fertilized eggs. And I said, no, I do not want fertilized eggs. That means that the semen from the rooster is in there and you're still going to eat all of it. And that to me makes it all the more gross. That's like eating that preformed entity in its smallest stage. And people eat it like, oh, it's just a sunflower seed, you know. But anyhow, so I don't eat my sunflower seeds like that. I used to. I put them in a cup and then I get a bigger cup I'm going to throw away like a cottage cheese container or the bag the seeds came out of and then spit them in there like that. So I just get a mouthful of seeds and spit them one at a time. So that's how I do them. And I used to eat M&Ms like that out of a small little cup about that big around, put like so much in there, but I don't eat them anymore. They got kind of gross. I wish they'd make them out of all natural dyes and that type of stuff because I like the flavor of the chocolate. I just don't like the candy coating on it anymore. So I ick. They're yucky. I will eat them if that's all the chocolate there's around, and but I haven't even wanted to buy any for a long time. So I'll have another cigarette with you in chat for a little while. So kind of a gloomy day around here, but we're really lucky. The weather is in the 50s, and I've seen snow come this time of year and not leave. So we're all in all doing pretty good with coming into the season of the witch. Death. Yeah. And darkness and doom and gloom and SAD, seasonal. What is that? I go to say it and then I can't remember it. It's a sad. Now something else is called sad too. Just remembered that, but it's something about not enough light, and we get a disorder, and that's really common for a lot of people in the northern hemisphere to have depression because of the lack of light. So, I don't know, some people like to live in depression or anger or sorrow or all those types of kind of low vibing stuff. you know, it's like, get over yourself. Here, have some of mine. You can whine about mine too while you're at it. you know, I'm not saying sorrows are anything to not feel sad about or anything. I'm just saying when we have these sorrows, we have to either live our best life still or crawl into bed and pull the covers over your head and don't come back out and don't put that on other people. Just be your miserable self all by yourself, you know. So I know a lot of people that's gone through pure hell and they still find the time to laugh and treat other people with dignity and respect. But yet then you have these people that's had like two or three little things happen to them in their life. Oh, oh, you poor, poor, poor things, you know. And then they treat everybody like crap and use that for an excuse to do just that. I heard something a couple days ago, and it was a very short conversation. Doug said, I came out in the kitchen. I said something odd that he had done. Oh, because the neighbors were out across like a field and he could hear them. And he was trying to build on a shed and it was dark out and he had the light on out there. And he ended up dropping the F bomb and yelling at them and everything. And they have all little girls. There's nothing but little girls all around my neighborhood. True story. And so I was pretty disgusted. And I told him I was very disgusted because I would swear around my sons, but not much. And I was never vulgar like that. Not like that. and so I brought this up to him, and he simply said to me, you know, I need a new heart. And I simply said back to him, yes, I know you do. And I'm carrying that for you from my father. So, in other words, I'm sharing my heart with him. I'm trying to show him what it's like to actually use your heart and feel your senses when you are with people and around people. But I really felt bad for them tiny little girls. There's older ones too that really didn't need to hear that, you know. 14, 15, I bet. Um, 10, 12. Some that are like 2 and 3 and 5 and all over the place. My neighborhood, there's like 10 and 11-year old up across the road. There's 3 girls across the field. There's 4 girls right up in back of me. So when I'm saying this, I'm not. And then there's 2 more girls that are up across the hill, all within hearing distance. Like if we can hear the coyotes holler, um, we can hear each other around the neighborhood. So anyway, if I offended anybody, I guess that's probably good because we probably weren't meant to be friends then anyway. So that's good. Bye bye. You know. But if I didn't and you took what I said to heart, appreciate you. And I love you for taking the time to understand a loving grandmother's point of view that really does care about everybody. So, I'm going to leave it there for today. I think I know how to turn things off and on and do everything now on this phone. I don't know what else to say, but, well, consider just lowering your gaze and putting it in the Father's hands because He really does help us all the time, no matter what. So just consider that. His spirit and His heart, it's real, and some of us really do carry that. And so, all right, everybody, thank you for joining me. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. Have a good night or day wherever you're at.